Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NASCAR Xfinity Series slate on Saturday, August 21st. This is the first of two Xfinity Series races, so make sure you're watching this for the Saturday race and not for the Sunday race. I'll be having a video for that one as well, so be sure to check out that. If you're new to this channel, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me out, really help me grow the channel. I've had a lot of growth throughout NASCAR season. I want to continue that up. NBA's also been back, and I've been making videos for that, so if you're into NBA as well, be sure to look out for that. If you want to get more of my content, you should subscribe to my Patreon. It's only $10 a month for what you're going to get for all three series combined. For only $10 a month, you're going to get a cheat sheet with all the stats you need to know, projections. You're going to get a daily article, salary tier rankings, and a cash score for every single race, so be on the lookout for all of that. That's all good stuff coming out right now, so we got a lot of races this weekend, so a lot of content this weekend, a lot of money to win. So, yeah, be sure to look out for that. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is at DFSNateLane. My Instagram is at @NateLane_. Be sure to follow that. I'll put the link in the description below. So be sure to follow me over there. I talk about sports, talk about NASCAR, talk about basketball, football, baseball, pretty much anything. DFS, fantasy football, a lot. So be sure to look out for that as well. All right, let's get into it. Austin Cindric, the most expensive driver on the slate, and for good reason. I mean, he's just been dominant the last few weeks. I mean, I just want to how good Austin Cindric has been recently. He has an average finish of 1.8. He's won 4 out of the last 5 races in the Xfinity Series. That's insane. And 247 laps left, and he starts on the pole today. So I don't even think I need to go over if he's good at Dover or anything. He's just good. He's just been good. The best driver recently. And I mean, Briscoe has an average finish of 2 also, which is insane, which you would think that would be the best average finish. But no, Austin Cindric, 1.8. Anyway, ridiculous. He's the 3rd best average finish at Dover, 5th best at short tracks, 6th best steep tracks. Don't care. He is the top dominator option. He starts on the pole. He's just been absolutely insane at these tracks. And I mean, he's gonna be chalky. He should be chalky. He's so good here. I mean, he's just been so good, leading laps every single race, winning every single race. He's got to be your favorite to win. He's got to be your favorite to lead laps. So yeah, Austin Cindric is the play to go to today. Justin Allgaier starts 5th, and for 11,000, and he's just as good in my opinion of an option. If you've been following the Xfinity Series for a while, you know Justin Allgaier at short tracks is the best. And Dover, he has the best average finish of 2.5. Or 2.25, the best average finish at short tracks and the 2nd best steep tracks, and he has the best average position at all 3 of them. So yeah, he's been really good at these types of tracks, and 195 laps led at Dover, which is the most in the field, and 1,206 at short tracks, which is not even it's not even close. The next best is 197. That's 1,000 more than everybody else. And yeah, he's ran more races, but still, man, it's just insane how good he is at short tracks leading laps. If this was Bristol, he's your pick to win every time. But Allgaier, another good option in my opinion. And I think everyone's playing Cindric this weekend. So you have all these other top options, which are kind of contrarian plays at that point. You have Cindric, who's a good play. You have Allgaier, a good play. Briscoe, a good play. Gragson, a good play. All of them are good options to lead laps. Those are probably your top 4 guys to lead laps. Everyone's going to play Cindric. So if you want to get different and play Justin Allgaier and hope Cindric just maybe has a bad race or Allgaier out leads him or something like that or wins, that's maybe the place to go. Chase Briscoe starts 10th. He has 9th best average finish at Dover, 7th at short and 4th at steep tracks in the last 5 races. He has an average finish of 2, an average running position of 4.4 and 76 laps led. So we know Briscoe's going to run well. He's going to get finished. It's just, is he going to lead laps or not? That's really what it all comes down to. Is Briscoe going to lead a ton of laps? And I would say he's less likely than Cindric, Allgaier, or Gragson to lead laps, but I do think Briscoe is a good option, a good contrarian play that not a lot of people will play as much. But we know he's going to have a good finish, so he won't hurt you. But unless those guys are 60% owned, then yeah, you might be screwed. But I don't expect that to happen. It'll probably be 30, 40. So I think Briscoe's still a good play. Ross Chastain starts. If you're playing cash, you have to play Austin Cindric though. That's pretty much a given. Anyway, Ross Chastain starts 13th. He has the 8th best average finish at Dover, 12th best at short tracks, 12th best at steep tracks. This is just not really where he excels. He does start 13th, has some place differential upside, but this is just not the place for him in my opinion. In the last 5 races, he does have a good average finish of 4.6 and an average position of 5.6, but I still don't really want to go there. I'd just rather get to Briscoe, Allgaier, Cindric, or Gragson. Speaking of Noah Gragson, starts 2nd. He has the 3rd best average finish at Dover, 4th best at short tracks, and the best at steep tracks. We saw him win Bristol earlier this year. That's a short track. In the last 5 races, Gragson has an average finish of 5.25, an average position of 7.4, and 132 laps led. That's second most in the field, and he starts second today. So I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility that Noah Gragson just gets out to the early lead. I mean, he's led more at shorter tracks. I'm pretty short in Centric. Okay, no, 2 less, but still. Gragson has been in this series a little bit less amount of time, but he does have more laps led to steep tracks. But anyway, Gragson just, this is the type of track where he's done well. We've seen him do well at tracks similar. I think he could be a good play. I think he could be lower owned, and everyone's playing Centric this week. What if Noah Gragson just gets out to the early lead and leads all the laps? What if Centric's car's just not as good this week, and he's 70% owned, which that won't be happening. He's 40% owned, and Gragson's 10. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. If you're playing GPPs, I don't hate it. I do not hate going to Gragson. Justin Haley starts 22nd. He's 9,900. I think he's a good play. Second best average finish at Dover. 8th best at short tracks. 9th best at steep tracks. 3rd best average position at Dover as well. In the last 5 races, Justin Haley has an average finish of 4.2 and an average position of 8.8, and was running really well at Daytona Road Course before he wrecked out, which is why he's starting 22nd. So I think Justin Haley's a great play there. He should be able to finish in the top 10 for sure, maybe get a top 5. Mike Snyder, I don't get the pricing on. He starts 11th. Like, it's like, DraftKings is used to Mike Snyder starting on the back, but he's not this week. He starts 11th. 9,700, I don't really want to pay for that. It's just, in the last 5 races, Mike Snyder has an average finish at 10.33. I'll pass. Harrison Burton starts 4th at 9,500. He'll have a good finish. I know that. He's going to finish the race well. Recently he hasn't been, but he'll get a top 10, 10.5 average finish, average position of 5.25. Only 32 laps led in the last 5 races. 81 at short tracks, 83 at steep tracks. And that all those laps led were at Bristol when he started on the pole, which is pretty much, if you start on the pole at Bristol, you'd lead laps. That's what happens. So, just not necessarily someone I want to go to. Same thing with Brandon Jones. They'll probably finish well, but I don't expect them to get a friendly laps. I just don't think the likelihood that they are the main lap leaders, other than Centric, Geyer, Briscoe, or Gragson, is very low to me. So if you're playing a ton of GPPs, maybe take some shots at them, but I don't think that's the place to go. They don't have any place differential upside. They probably just hang around those spots, maybe drop a little bit, and that's really it. Jeb Burton, 9,200. He's driving the number 8 car this week for Junior Motorsports. He starts 27th. He has 7th best average finish at Dover, 10th at short, 9th at steep tracks. I don't think he's ran in the last 5 races, honestly. He has 1 race. He finished 7th. So I think Burton is a good place differential guy. I mean, he starts 27th, starts in the back, and he's in really good equipment. So I do think he has the upside to finish very, very well here. If you're driving that number 8 car, it's just a fast car. We've seen Hamrick driving it this year. We've seen Dale Jr. driving it. So all those guys are just good drivers. And I just think, that car is a very solid car. Number 8 car is one of the best cars in the field. Justin Allgaier and Gragson, same equipment. So starting 27th, he has potential to finish in the top 10 pretty easily. And I mean, Jeb Burton always seems like he's competing for a win and then something goes wrong. Maybe he gets it today. That would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing Jeb Burton get a win. So starting 27th looks like a good place to first upside play. Brett Moffitt, on the other hand, I know he starts 28th, but he's just not as good of a driver as Burton or Alfredo, or in as good of equipment. 17th best average finish at short tracks, 13th at steep tracks. When we go into the last 5 races for Brett Moffitt, average finish of 14.66 and average position of 12.8, I'd rather just get to Jeb Burton. Or Anthony Alfredo, for that matter, who starts 26th. We don't have anything for Dover or short tracks for him because I think he wrecked in the 1 race he was in. But 8th best average finish at steep tracks. Alfredo's in the number 21 for RCR, and we know that's just one of the fastest cars in the field. Starting 26, he should be able to get top 10 for sure, maybe even compete for a top 5. So, yeah, I like Anthony Alfredo a lot, and he comes with a $500 discount to Jeb Burton. And I kind of am a little more confident in Alfredo than I am in Burton. I feel like Alfredo's just more consistent, and that equipment, I mean, they're pretty much the same. So, yeah, Alfredo looks like a good play. Riley Herbst starts 6th. I don't ever like to play Riley Herbst anyway, but definitely not when he starts 6th. Last 5 races, Riley Herbst has an average finish of 4, which is actually really good, and an average position of 7.25, but there's just no way for him to go up, and honestly, I expect him to go back up, honestly. Alex LeBay, 8,300, starts 19th. He has the 16th best average finish at Dover. I mean, he just starts too high, and at 8,300 doesn't really offer us a ton of place differential upside. In the last 5 races, he has an average finish of 17.6, so just not someone I want to go to. And then Clemens and Annette both start high up. They both have ran well the last few weeks. Average finish of 9.6 for Clemens and 5.6 for Annette, but they just start too high up, don't really offer you any place differential upside. So Clements and Michael Annett, not someone I really want to go to. Brandon Brown starts 21st, and he's okay. 15th best average finish at Dover, 19th best at short, and 19th at steep tracks. So, I mean, it's just in the last 5 races, Brandon Brown's an average finish of 8.75, an average position of 11.5, which is good. Brandon Brown's had the best year of his career. So I think he is actually someone who's a little bit interesting that not a lot of people are probably going to get to because they're just going to pay a little bit less for these guys I'm about to get into. But I think Brandon Brown has some upside, and not a lot of people will play him. He can finish inside the top 10 for sure. But probably more than likely he gets like a 10 to 15 range, which is going to be fine. Like, he'll be fine for that salary. Not going to be anything special. Won't win you in GPP, but he does have the upside to be in that winning lineup in a GPP, and I wouldn't be that shocked. Timmy Hill priced up at 36. All these guys got priced up really, really high, and there's guys down low that start in the back that aren't priced up that much, so I don't get it. But Timmy Hill, I don't want to play. Starts 36. Last 5 races, average finish of 16.8, which is pretty good, but not just, I don't know. I just don't have faith that he's going to actually do that. And 2 of those races were road courses, and he's actually like pretty good at road courses anyway. So I just don't think I'm really excited to go to Timmy Hill. Colby Howard's another one. Average finish of 22.5 in the last 5 races. He's more expensive. And Stephen Parsons had an average finish of 19 in the last 5 races. And Parsons is probably the one I'm most comfortable going to. I mean, maybe Timmy Hill. I don't want to go to Howard. I just think Hill and Parsons are better plays. They have better upside. Parsons is actually a pretty good driver. He's not in the best equipment, but he's a good driver. So I think he's someone who has the upside to get inside that top 20 and pay off. If any, I mean, I'm sure one of these guys ends up in the top 20 and pays off. I would put the rank. I would say probably Hill and Parsons before Howard. So that's why I would do that. Ryan Sieg starts too high, starting 9th. Don't want to get there. Vinnie Miller starts 35th, 6,900. He's too expensive, man. Last 5 races, Vinnie Miller's average finish is 21.8, which is actually pretty good, and average position of 19.4. So he's not like terrible, but like I'd rather just pay the guys above him are better, and there's some guys below him I'd rather pay for too. Josh Williams starts too high, starts 18th. In the last 5 races, Josh Williams has an average finish of 17.2. Not something I want to go to. Joe Graff's average finish is 14.25. He starts 23rd. Probably a little bit of a sneaky option, honestly. Not a lot of people are just going to play the guys in the 30s, but Joe Graff gets inside that top 15 again. There's your guy. That's probably the winning lineup player, but I don't think that... I wouldn't count on Joe Graff finishing inside the top 15. He might get a top 20 again, but like that's just not something you want to count on. Bailey Curry, starting 16th. That's a fade. Kyle Weatherman starts a little too high as well in 20th. In the last 5 races, Weatherman has an average finish of 13th, which is good, an average position of 16.25, but 2 of those races were road courses, and Kyle Weatherman's actually really good at the road courses, so I wouldn't put too much thought into that. Honestly, he's a solid option. I think someone that not a lot of people are going to play that has some upside, but still not someone I want to get to. Chad Fincham, 5,900, starting 34th. Last 5 races for Chad Fincham, 20.2 average finish, 21.4 average position, which is solid. But I don't know. It's Chad Fincham. It's Chad Fincham, and there's still a guy down here I haven't even gotten to that I just want to play more than everybody anyway. So I just I don't know. I just don't want to get to Fincham. There's a lot of pretty good options below 8K, but I don't know, man. It's Chad Fincham. The equipment's really not that great. Tommy Joe Martin's way too high, 14th. Corbin Forester, we don't want to play him. Jeffrey Earnhardt is my favorite play in the slate. He starts 30th. And in the last 5 races, Jeffrey Earnhardt has an average position of 10.3, or average finish of 10.33 and an average position of 16.2. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Draftkings priced up all of these guys, like Hill, Howard, Parsons, but left Earnhardt. And Earnhardt's not in like he's in, not good equipment, but he's in better equipment than Timmy Hill. He's in better equipment than Stephen Parsons. And he's 5,500. He starts 30th. He should be able to get a top 20. And, I mean, if he can get inside the top 15, that's going to be huge. So Jeffrey Earnhardt looks like a good play. David Starr also. David Starr's also in a JD Motorsports car. And, I mean, he only has 1 race in the last 5 races, but he finished 7th. So that says something. But, like, these JD Motorsports cars, like, Howard got priced up. But Starr and Earnhardt did not. And neither did Jesse Little, but he starts 12th, so that's okay. But, like, I mean, Jeffrey Earnhardt and David Starr are pretty solid options where they start at 55, 5,300. I want to get to all of them instead of those guys up top. Like, if I just don't pay for these guys, that means I can get 2 of these guys up here. That means I can get 2 of Centric, Geyer, Briscoe, Gragson. If you want to throw in Haley. If you want to even maybe take a shot on Harrison Burton or Brandon Jones now, you can do that because you have all these cheap guys down here. They made it kind of easy. But because of that might make some of these guys maybe lesser owned. So that's going to be something interesting to, like, just figure out on your own. What you feel more comfortable with playing is probably what you go with. Matt Mills starts 25th, starts too high. Cody Vanderwall's not good, wrecks every race. Jesse Little starts too high, starting 12th. McLeod may not be terrible. Last 5 races, average finish of 22, and average position at 18.5, running better than he's finished. He could pay off that salary by just hanging around, and I mean, he could get a top 15. He's another JD Motorsports car, so it's not terrible, but it's still not someone I really want to get to. I guess same thing with Jesse Little. Both of them can hang around, but I'd rather just pay up a little bit more for the price differential upside you can get. And then Stephen Light, we never play anyway, starting at 15th. So that's really all I got to say about the Xfinity Series slate today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got some good information. On the Patreon, there'll be more information, more data, more stuff to get into if you want to check that out. Sorry the video wasn't really all that great today. I've got a lot of stuff to do today. Kind of felt a little bit rushed, but trying to get all the content for everybody because that's what I'm here to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bell. All those things help me out so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and make some money this weekend.